What's going on, you guys, man? Welcome back for another episode. This is episode 2 of the Reset Podcast. And today I want to talk about renewing your mind. Because when I hear the word reset, it's a complete shift. Like it's a complete change. And as you change, you have to implement new things. And for me, it's this bad boy right here. You know what I mean? The word. And if you're not walking with Christ yet, it's fine. But hopefully God is able to speak through you through this video. But I want to start off with a Bible verse, if that's fine with y'all, and we can kind of just go from there. So we are in Ephesians. This is Ephesians 4, and it will be verse 20. So it reads, that whoever is not the way of life you learned when you heard about Christ and were taught in him in accordance with the truth that is in Jesus, you were taught with regard to your former way of life, to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. So it talks about that old self. And I've been saying that a lot, like your past self. We want whatever that's comfortable. A lot of people past self is that same person that they was in high school. Like you was either the jock, or you was the bully, or you was the quiet one. You was the one who liked to go out on parties. You was, committing sexual immorality. You was addicted to porn. You was addicted to alcohol. You was addicted to drugs. Like you still see yourself as this person, or you still may be walking in those same things. But as you see right here, it is acknowledging that old self who was deceitful, that old self who committed all these things. You must leave that person and be transformed into the man or woman that God created you to be, and the man or woman that you are now walking within Christ. And for me, if just to kind of just talk about my journey, it wasn't easy, because let's just say 2-3 years ago, I'm calling myself a Christian and I'm just doing whatever. Like I'll probably pop up at church once a month. I'm still praying, before I eat, before I go to bed. Like it was there. I felt like I knew God, but it was no conviction on the things that I was doing. So it was just like I was viewing God as just this person who blessed us, of course, but not a person who was able to really take things away. Like not the ultimate provider and the source and the person that he truly is. I was just viewing him as this like a whatever type of thing. Basically, the word for it is lukewarm, and just constantly walking in sin, like having sex with my girlfriend, watching porn, drinking, smoking, like, and partying, and not have no conviction. I talked about my previous video, like, man, I see sin on another level now. Like, when I'm doing something, I'm like, bro, like, you're not supposed to be doing this. Like, the conviction is there because you got the Holy Spirit within you, after getting baptized. But just talking about that past, and I've just been doing that for so long. And with me just being baptized for like a year and a half now, I still feel those urges. Like they're there. Like it's not no sense of I done defeated it. Like I'm completely, on this new way of this new way of living. The urges are still there. Sometimes I still do fall, in everybody's sense. You get what I mean? But I feel like the way that I think about things now is different. And what has helped me genuinely is reading the word. And I thought this was always just hoopla. Like people were just talking, hey, make sure you read your word. I'm just being honest with y'all. Just read your word. Like, how can this genuinely help me? Like me just reading a book. How can this help me? But as I start to read the word, and I started to view the Bible as just lessons. Inside this Bible, you get to see many different men and women that go through life and experiencing different things, and you see God's reaction to it. Like you see Solomon being one of the richest people in the world, having everything. God blessed him so much. God blessed him so much because all he did was ask for wisdom. He said, you know what, since you just asked me this, I'm about to bless you tenfold. I'm about to just bless you. But then Solomon got to a point where it got to his head. trying to have multiple wives and end up falling. So that something like that to happen 2,000 years ago, and you relate it to now during this period of time, it's a lesson to know that not allowing money to be your master. Like if you just read it that way. So as I'm reading the word now, I'm relating every single story, every single book or action into my current life. So now I can accept it as wisdom. Now I can accept it. It's like, oh, okay. Now my mindset is like, bro, you don't want to do that. You don't want to judge someone else because God is going to judge you the same way. Right? You want to have a such of an undeniable faith that when you get put in the den with lions, that you stand strong and know that your Father is going to save you. You're not afraid of anything. When you get put into a burning furnace, when people talk down on you and they spit on you or whatever they may do, you stand 10-toed on your Father's name and believe everything that he told you he was going to do for you. He would never let his faithful one see decay. It's like, okay, cool. I'm getting it now. Not allowing money to be your master, because if you allow a materialistic thing to be your master, you're going to fall, because money is a piece of paper. It can be like, it can deteriorate. Only put your faith in the Father, the one who gave you life. So I'm not out here trying to chase every single thing and I want to have, sex with multiple people, or, buy the nicest cars, the clothes and all this thing, and then still feeling empty. It all makes sense. It all makes sense, right? But you don't know none of that until you get in the word and renew your mind. And it takes time, man. It takes time. But what I've just been noticing when I'm reading the word and I'm putting myself around other like-minded community, my environment, my digital environment, what am I watching? What am I listening to each and every single day? I always talk about this, but it just makes so much sense, because if you can put yourself in a place that attracts the things that you want, or put yourself in a place with other people who want the same thing that you want, this journey, this walk is going to be a lot more smoother. And when it comes to changing your mindset about things, that's going to be a lot more smoother, because now you start to see other people's walks and that you can learn from too as well. Either people who are behind you or people who have been in front of you. Excuse me, y'all. So it's just renewing of your mind. And if I can just be honest now, you're going to go through a lonely chapter, and I'm not just throwing that on you, because if you don't, great. If you have a community that you can just hop in, that's a beautiful thing. But for me, I didn't have it at first. Once you really start to walk with Christ, man, I won't even go share this, but we here. Man, I lost my girlfriend at the time of 3 years. Man, I was looking at engagement rings. Man, I'm sharing out everything. Forget it. I'm just going for it. I was looking at engagement rings, places that we're gonna have weddings. I'm at another wedding, at my cousin's wedding. I'm like, man, this is probably gonna be the right wedding. I'm looking at where we go have children. Asking, what we gonna name our child? All these things, like so invested into this relationship. And we was at church one time. And the pastor started talking about how we're not supposed to be living together. I didn't know this. I didn't know you're not supposed to be living with, your partner. And of course, obviously, not having sex before marriage. And after church, I'm like, hey, man, like if, say we say we Christians, like we need to be walking in this. We need to be following God's commandments. And I could see right then and there things were going left. Because she wasn't going for it. She wasn't going for it at that time. Her mind was not set on that. And I started to notice that this is going to be a consistent thing in my life, where I'm going to have to lose people who I really, truly love to follow Christ. But it all came from renewing my mind. Like you hearing something like that. All right? And if you want best for your life, you go take everything in his word serious, because it's important. It's important to do so. Like it's important to do so. So, man, I lost my 3-year relationship. I lost a lot of friends. Feel like I lost a lot of opportunities, financial opportunities. But I don't view them as losses. I view them as blessings. Because if they weren't walking with God, it wasn't for me anyway, you know? So I don't even know why I brought that up, but I'm just being transparent with y'all because I feel like it's important. Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed by the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I don't know if you got baptized, if you were already saved and you made Jesus Christ your Lord and your Savior. But for me, it took until I was 22. So you got to think 22 years living in the world, doing what you want to do, saying what you want to say, going where you want to go. It was just a natural thing. But after the transition, things start to open up to you and you start to learn a lot more, and you want to add these things into your life. Right? When it comes to, not having sex or not getting drunk, not cussing, watching what watching or, and what you're listening to. It gets to a point and you want to include all this stuff in your life so fast. You want to, all right, bet I said they're not going to do this. Cool. I ain't going to say this. You start to going through your house. All right, bet I'm going to throw my game away. I'm wiping all these books away that's not addicted to God. Not addicted to God, but not attached to, my relationship with my Father. I'm going to just get rid of everything. Business is going. You start to move with a sense of urgency now, because it's just like, man, I've been living in sin so much. I've been disobeying my Father for so much. I might get rid of everything. Slow down. Slow down. Okay? All right. This is a process. This going to be a lifelong process. It's not going to be like, hey, I'm going to renew my mind next week and I'm going to be good. That's not realistic. And if anybody telling you that, they're lying. Okay? So there's still people who've been on their walk for 20 years who's still dealing with some vices. Right? But I just want you to be aware of what's wrong and what's right, and apply the things into life that you can. And do it in a way where you don't kill yourself. All right? Like I said, you got to understand, it's been 2,000 years of people sinning. 2,000 years of people disobeying your Father. 2,000 years of living comfortably in a sense of sin and not caring what anybody has to say about it, or not caring what your pastor's telling you, or not caring what the word says. So give yourself some grace on this journey. Give yourself some grace on this journey. Give yourself some grace. I want to tell you, you're not alone. Okay? I want to tell you that it may not look cool. It may not be. It may not look cool to be a Christian. It may not look cool to make disciples. It may not look cool to share your testimony to the entire world. But who are you trying to serve? You looking for man's, approval? Like you want to be looking good in front of everybody else? Like, hey, this guy, this girl, she's, like, yeah. Like that's what you're doing this for? Or are you looking to die to yourself and make disciples and share God's word? So this journey is going to be difficult. This journey is going to be different. But also what this journey is going to be exciting. It's going to be something that you never thought it was going to be. And I'm just speaking from experience. Like I said, I've been baptized for a year and a half, and some of the things that I've been through, boy, when I tell you the type of dreams I'm having, like how the enemy is trying to like stop me from doing what I'm doing, like how the enemy is making sure that he's putting certain things in my dreams to try to make me commit a sin or fall back into temptation and go back into the same lifestyle that I was living before. But on the backside of that, like the clarity that I feel like I hear from God right now is on another level. You know, like it's on a whole nother level. It's hard to imagine. But that just comes from me just trying to run after him. Leaving my old self behind. No matter what that may look like for you. And being committed to the process of falling, acknowledging, and then repenting. You just got to be willing to commit. I think the beautiful thing about this too is now once you recognize that you have the option now, like there's no more such of a, oh man, I just fell into sex. Like, man, well, let's just try again tomorrow. Like, no, like something as, and I'm just taking it there. Something when it comes to having sex, it's different levels to it. Like, there's no such thing as like, hey, I'm about to just have sex right now. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go through a process of talking, y'all meeting up, kissing, and you know what I mean? Like, it's different levels to it. So if you fall into something like that, you had multiple times where God was like, hey, don't be doing this. You know, like, he's clicking like, bro, don't do this. And you fall into it. And that's a different level of something. That's more of like, you don't fear the Lord. And I can acknowledge I did that before. Like, I promise you, I had, man, I knew I was not supposed to be at this person's house. I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. Like, I was not supposed to be there. And you see the transition. You see the signs. You see them, right? Like, you see what's about to go down. You got the opportunity to leave, but it's like, you know, I ain't really trying to leave. Like, you put yourself in these environments and you wonder why you still falling. It's just like, bro, you got to learn. Play some boundaries, man. Play some boundaries, girl. Like, don't be going to nobody's house at nighttime. Don't be sitting in the car at nighttime for a long period of time. Like, you just start to see. You know, when you get some wisdom in you start to fall a couple times. It's like, okay, cool, not to do this. You have to set those boundaries. All right, that's something that I've been learning too as well when it comes to renewing my mind. Because previously I just thought I can go to anybody's house and I'll be fine. Like, I can hold my own. I'm strong enough. Boy, stop. That's another thing too. Like, you're not strong enough by yourself. Man, you will get eaten alive with some of the things that, you know what I mean, people are going through right now. So it is through our Father that we have our strength. Where we are weak, that's where he is strong. And you have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge that. Like, you have to. Super important. Man, that's crazy. I know somebody out there, y'all ain't got to say nothing, but I know y'all relating to me what I'm talking about right now. But, man, yeah, I'm excited for you, just to be honest with you. I don't know, you probably way farther in your journey than me right now, but just renewing your mind is one of the most beautiful things in the world. And like I was saying before, you may feel alone right now because you're just now making that transition. Like you just now trying to start walking with Christ, and you starting to see some of the things, the people that you hanging around with, they're doing things that don't match up. Like they're not following what you really want to do. And you got to say no. You can't be this people pleaser, be like, hey, I'm here. Or you can't be this person who feels like you can control being in an environment. Like, come on now. You're too fresh. Like, you don't need to be listening to that music. You don't need to be having those conversations. It's not helping your walk. It's not. All right. So, man, it just at this period of time, man, get into deep prayer. If you can, man, find your community, a church, if you can. I know a lot of people don't have that access, but, man, if you can, that will be amazing. It's going to help you out so much. And, yeah, I'm not going to take the whole time today because I feel like I'll just be on here rambling, but I love you, man. I truly love you. And stay in your word. Keep on fighting when things don't seem right or seem like they're getting any better. That's when you got to keep pressing upon. All right? Not giving up. But I love you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. God bless you.